everyone, welcome back to my channel. So I'm going to start this video off. We're going to do a new vlog. I've decided I'm going to read until I read a 5-star because I have not read a 5-star since November and I'm due one. I need a 5-star. It is the 12th of February. I've just finished a vlog. I was reading a bunch of romance vlogs that should be posted. You should have seen it. But yes, I am still in my romance era. I am in the middle of this book. This is Things We Never Got Over by Lucy Score. I'm enjoying it. I'm only on page 78 though, so you know, I haven't really got fully into the story. It's like almost 500 pages. This is one of these romances where it doesn't really need to be this long. But yeah, really long book. I have the other two as well, so this vlog might just be me reading all of these, seeing if they're 5 stars. Honestly, I don't even know if they will be. I'm really hoping to read a 5-star. I might go back to some books that I already started, but maybe put it down, or I might just like be full-on romance. I don't know. I am out of my reading slump. Fingers crossed I do not go back into it because that was horrendous in January. I'm feeling so much lighter. I'm reading faster. I'm enjoying what I'm reading more. So, you know, I gave a few 4s so far this month. I've read quite a few books already, but I want a 5-star. So I have a confession to make. It's been a whole week since I filmed the intro. Yes, a whole week has gone by and I have not filmed anything for this video. So yeah, that's been great. And also I actually have read a 5-star book this week, but I didn't film it and I didn't speak about it. So we're going to ignore that. I will quickly just say what it is. I finally finished this book. If you know, you know. If you don't, you don't. But I have been trying to read this book since November, and this is The House on the Cerulean Sea by TJ Klune. I only had like 70 pages in, so I had all of this to read. And you know what? I finished it, and I read it, and I gave it 5-star. So like by the time that I knew that this was going to be a 5-star, I knew that I hadn't filmed anything. And what am I going to do? Like a vlog where the first book I read is a 5-star? That's not going to get me anywhere. And also, my son was sick like the whole week. We're going to do something a little bit different because I did actually film a little bit of creating my TBR. I was going to do, for the first time, a TBR for March. Like a March TBR. Like I tried to do a TBR a few months ago and I never followed it because I am definitely more of a mood reader. So I did end up making this a few days ago. What we're going to do this week is I still want to read a 5-star, but if I don't read 5-star this week, it is not a problem. So this vlog will end before I read a 5-star, but I'm hoping that I can read a 5-star. So maybe I'll title this vlog, Can I Read 2 5-star Reads? In this, who knows? I don't know what I'm talking about. So anyway, I'm gonna pull a prompt from here because I don't really feel like reading this in this vlog. This is Empire Storms. This is the 6th book in the Throne of Glass series. And I pick it up, I read like 10 pages and then I put it down. I am so bored of this this series, and I know this is a beloved series of many people, and honestly I never felt like this with ACOTAR. I just think that these books are just horrendously long for what is actually in them. There's so much filler crap. We're just gonna go in. I don't really know what these are. I did 2 little colors for them, but I do not know. I don't know if that's probably never gonna focus. Book with an orange cover. Okay. I should have done it in orange, but I did it in green because I am just a psycho. So I don't have many books left that have an orange cover. I actually didn't even check if I have any books that I need to read that has an orange cover before I read that. So this could be a big, huge, massive fail. But I think my plan is I'm going to pull a book with an orange cover. We're going to see if it's a 5-star. We're going to read it. And if it's not, then we'll pull the next one. It is Monday today, Monday the 19th of February. And yeah, I feel like I'm going to try to just push this out for a week. All right, so you'll see straight away Magpie, but I have already read that. So we have no orange books here. We do have this one, which has red and orange. So this could be a contender on this shelf. This is Jo Nesbo, The Night House. That could be something. It's kind of like a horror thriller book about like a teenage boy and this house. And I actually don't think it's really that serious. So that actually could be a good option. I haven't read a horror in a while as well, so I might be in the mood for that, to be fair. And I don't think that it's super long. I mean, it's a hardback, but I don't think it's that long. So actually, I might read that one. Okay, so we're moving on because there's really nothing else here. That's orange. Okay, here we see Love Theoretically, which would have been perfect for orange. Okay, nothing else here. Okay, do I have any more oranges? Oh my goodness. Okay, so I actually have not read A Court of Silver Flames. Blah, 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 flames. You know what? I was kind of hoping to read that at some point when I know that the next book will come out, because I don't think, like, this is not the end of the series, but I know that this goes on to Nesta, and I didn't want to just read this book and then have to wait like years to read what actually happens. But this is a contender. But look, this is just, I just said I didn't want to read like a huge, enormous Sarah J. Maas book, and that is a huge, enormous Sarah J. Maas book. But that is an option because it is orange. I just don't think I can do it. There's this one, which is the Satsuma Complex. I got this in my first book haul, and I still have yet to read it. It's by Bob Mortimer. I think it's about a guy who meets a girl, and then for some reason, like, she goes missing or something, and he needs to try to find her. So I think that's what it is. I'm not entirely sure. We've got The Dead Romantics here, but I have read that, so sadly I can't read it again. Well, I could, but I don't want to. Oh, I have a bunch of my son's bowls here, so yeah, that's great. And then down here, I don't think I have any orange books. Oh my goodness, wait, is this orange? No, I thought it might have some orange to it. There's no orange books. Gosh, they don't really make orange books. Okay, right, so it's really gonna be between these two, and frankly, I don't really know. All right, so let's just read. I'm just going to read the back of them and see what they actually are. So I think I'm leaning more towards this one for some reason, but I did see that, what's his name? Horror with Ollie, or Books with Ollie, something with Ollie. He's a booktuber and he reads horror. Like, all he does is read horror, and he didn't like this. Like, he recently read this, and I got this from Tesco. He recently read this and he doesn't like it. But I don't think me and him have the same tastes, even though I watch his videos. I don't think we probably have the same tastes. So how many pages is this? Okay, so it's like 200 and something pages, and then I think there's a snippet from a new book in here or something like that. In the wake of his parents' tragic deaths, 14-year-old Richard Eleved has been sent to live with his aunt and uncle in the remote town of Ballantine. Richard quickly earns a reputation as an outcast, and when a classmate named Tom goes missing, everyone suspects the new angry boy is responsible. No one believes him when he says the telephone booth by the edge of the woods sucked Tom into the receiver like something out of a horror movie. No one, that is, except Karen, a beguiling fellow outsider who encourages Richard to pursue clues the police refuse to investigate. He traces the number from the phone booth to an abandoned house, which is the house, obviously, on the cover. Yeah, I mean, honestly, this sounds like, this is why I bought it. It sounds like a fun read, and it's not a super long book. So I'm definitely leaning towards that one. I don't know. And then there's this one. So Gary Thorne goes for a pint with a work acquaintance called Brendan. When Brendan leaves early, Gary meets a girl in the pub. He doesn't catch her name, but falls for her anyway. When she leaves suddenly, all Gary has to remember her by is the book she was reading, the Satsuma Complex. The Satsu Complex. Gosh, I cannot read today. Okay, great start to, me trying to read a book. When Brendan goes missing, Gary needs to track down the girl he now calls Satsuma to get some answers, and so begins a quest through the streets of South London to finally bring some love and excitement into an unremarkable life. Again, it sounds intriguing, and it sounds like a book that I might like if it's done really well. I'm gonna go with this one, The Night House. I don't know, I'm just kind of feeling it. So it's not the same day, it's like the next day, and it's the evening. It's like 10:30 at night. But I read a little bit of this last night, but I didn't have too much to say about it, so I didn't really do an update. But I just finished, what chapter am I on? I just finished chapter 9 of The Night House, and
Is this like, I feel like this could be like a satirical horror. I can't take it seriously, but I am enjoying it. So basically we're following this boy, and he is like, I thought that this might have been like The Goonies, or it might have been like Stranger Things, where you're following like these, young adolescent teenagers, and they're going on a mystery adventure, and they gotta solve what's going on and stuff. But it's a lot darker than that, first of all. And the main boy in this is not very nice at all. He's actually quite horrible. And I don't know if this is a psychological horror or not, but I'm starting to question if if I'm supposed to believe everything that's happening, because okay, so I already like read to you the synopsis, I know, and it basically tells you that the book starts off with he's with his friend, but he's not even his friend really, because he kind of hates him, and he gets swallowed up by a telephone, and then nobody believes him, and people think he actually like pushed him off a river or so, like a bridge, and killed him or something like that. So he's already been like taken into question by the police, but because he's a minor, they can't really do anything, and there's like no evidence. They think he's just lying, obviously, because who's gonna believe him that the kid was eaten up by the telephone? So that was like the first few pages of the book, and I thought, okay, this is cool. We're getting straight into it, and I like the description of how it all happened. It was somewhat gory, but not too bad, but still like fun to read, and I could really visualize it. So far I'm really able to visualize most of the story, but I just finished chapter 9, and something weird is going on with this boy. I don't know if, like I said, it's a psychological horror where the things that he's saying are actually happening, or he's just a little messed up and he thinks that they're happening. I'm not entirely sure if he's a reliable narrator, but I'm definitely enjoying it.
Hey everyone, it's the next day, so yeah, welcome. It is Wednesday today. It is 2:30. I am actually going to go to the dentist in about half an hour, so I'm going to be quick. I did not finish this book last night, but I did read quite a bit. I'm on page 155, chapter 21, and there is a little bit over 100 pages left of the book. It's a short book. It's not a big book at all, which is really nice, to be fair. I've been reading like the books I've been reading have just been too long. I have continued to tab it. I think as soon as I spoke to you though, the book kind of took a little bit of a turn, and it hasn't been as fun and campy as it was at the beginning. So like right after I spoke to you, suddenly he like went to an institution for like kids and stuff, and he was there and he's escaped. Like, I mean, I don't know if these are all spoilers. Probably not, but it hasn't been as interesting as the first 9 chapters were. So I don't know. I think at this point I'm probably not going to give this a 5-star. I will finish it later today, but I kind of want to feel like I want to pick my next read. So we're going to do that now. Also, at the time that I'm filming this, I have like 294 subscribers. Thank you everyone who has subscribed. That is really, really nice. So anyway, let's go into here and let's see which one I'm gonna pull. I actually thought of a new prompt that I kind of wanted to put in here, but I haven't done it yet, because I noticed that on here, like, this is a house, and I have a few other books in my TBR that have houses on the cover, so I thought that would be a good prompt. But anyway, this is what the prompt is. I don't know what it says. Books with red cover. Okay. I mean, this is red and orange. A lot of red, but it did have the orange. So book with red covers. Okay, I'm hoping that I have one. Let's see. All right, so we'll do the same thing. We'll do up top here. So I have 2 right here. I have The Scarlet Alchemist by Kylie Lee Baker. I don't know what this is, so we can pull this one out. This was either a fairy loot. Okay, yeah, it's fairy loot because I got all the stuff in there. Okay, so that is one of them I could do, which also actually kind of has orange, so I could have probably pulled that one. And then we have a huge Cassandra Clare, which I'm going to tell you right now, I'm probably not going to pick this, but this does have red on the cover. It's just kind of massive, and I'm not really into massive books at the moment. This one looks a little bit thinner, so yeah, I'm going to say no to this. This is Sword Catcher. I haven't actually read anything from Cassandra Clare. Shocking, I know, because I know a lot of people have. But I don't want to start a new fantasy right now. Okay, so moving on to this shelf. I mean, there's a little bit of red in Fyodor Dostoevsky, but I really don't want to read the Karamazov Brothers. This was a recommendation from my dad, and yeah, he wants me to read that. But yeah, I don't really feel like reading it. These have like red letters, but yeah, I wouldn't say any of these are really like true red covers. I'm actually Wuthering Heights. This one, no, it's like a berry. Oh, too bad. I would have read that one. Okay, okay, so straight away, is there like red? I mean, there's red letterings. Does that count? And this one, Alice Feeney. I wouldn't mind trying to read a thriller, but I don't think I'm going to give it 5 stars. Okay, so I already read Discovery of Witches, so there is a second book that clearly is red. But I really struggled reading this book. I gave it 3 stars. It just was so dull. And I'm not obviously going to go to the 4th book without reading the others. So this one has not got any red. And The Four Winds by Kristen Hanna. That's not red either. Okay. All right. This might be more of a struggle. Okay. Stephen King, The Dark Half I have already read. And then these, no, I'm not going to do these because I'm in the middle of this series and I've already read ACOTAR. Okay, moving on to this one. We do have House of Earth and Blood. So again, I could pull another fantasy and start another fantasy. And obviously everybody's been reading the 3rd book of this series and I've been seeing that they don't like it. So I'm like, oh, do I even really want to start this series? If people say the 3rd book is disappointing, blah, blah, blah. But I am not going to pull that for today. Nothing has red. Oh my goodness. Why did I do this prompt? I did this prompt and I don't really have much red. This got a little bit of red. It's not really a red cover though, is it? And then we do have the 7 Deaths. So this has red. It's not a red cover, but it does have more red than others. So that could be interesting. This one doesn't have any red. I mean, it's kind of bluey and then red. Is that red or pink? I can't really tell. Oh my gosh, there's nothing down here that has red. Wow, so am I really just gonna read this one? Let me see what this is about. All right, so we might have to pick another book. I mean, it's a shame that I had this one, but this was orange, so it was like orangey blood red. Okay, I mean, this is the same thing. It's like the same color. Actually, a little bit more orange. Maybe I'm colorblind, I don't know. This is quite nice, it's quite a cute book. Okay, so, I mean, this is a fantasy book, so I did say I didn't want to read a fantasy book. Oh wait, no, this is the one, this is a YA fantasy, and it's set in China. Actually, I was interested in reading this. Oh look, it does actually have a red cover, so I think this is the one I'm gonna read, because there's really no other choice at the moment. So, this is all about alchemy. I mean, it is called The Scarlet Alchemist, so that kind of makes sense. So what is this about? Xylon dreams of becoming a royal alchemist, escaping her impoverished village in southern China to make alchemical gold for the wealthy so that they can stay young forever. But for now, she scrapes a living, practicing an illegal form of alchemy, resurrecting the dead for a price. When Xylon is offered the chance to travel to the capital and complete the imperial exams, facing a series of dangerous tasks that she'll be lucky to survive, let alone pass. The closer Xylon gets to the goal, the more she is caught in the deadly games of the royal family, especially when the crown prince seeks her help, suspecting a coming assassination attempt. There are monsters lurking within the palace walls, and it's only a matter of time before they and secrets of Xylon's past catch up with her. Okay, so let's just see how long this book is, because I'm a little concerned. Oh gosh, it's like 400 pages. But the writing is quite big. Okay, it is like 420 something pages. The writing is pretty large. Do I want to start fantasy? I mean, it's either this or Cassandra Clare, right? Or Sarah J. Maas. Like, what else can I do? I don't have any read books. Ah. Okay, I will roll this one in just because it's completely unknown to me, and I don't have, I mean, to my knowledge, this is probably, maybe it's the beginning of a series, but there's only one book right now because this just came out the last few months, so I think I'll probably catch you once I'm done with Joe Nesbo, The Night House, and I'll let you know my final thoughts on it. Or maybe once I'm in Scarlet Alchemist, I'm not entirely sure. So it is the next day. I always say this, it's the next day, but it's the next day. And I finished The Night House last night. And you know what, I did not like it. I actually did like this book quite a lot. I do think I kind of round up my points or round down my points on Goodreads, like my ratings, depending on how I feel about it. I did give it a 4-star on Goodreads, but I feel like it's probably like 3.75 or maybe 3.5. Because I do think there's 3 different parts of this story, and the first part I thought was really a lot of fun, really campy, and I was like fully like invested for it to be like this absurd horror story. I actually really liked that. And then you go into part 2. So part 1, this is not really a spoiler, but part 1 is like about when he's, you know, 14-year-old Richard, and he's like a little bit of a menace to society, but you also kind of figure out kind of why and stuff, and all these weird things happen with the telephone and everything. And then part 2, it's 15 years later, and then part 3, something happens. And so that's as much as I'll say, because obviously I don't really want to spoil it. I do think though part 3 kind of let it down, and even though I gave it, you know, kind of a 4-star, and I'm rounding up, I don't want to round down to a 3. I'm giving it a 4-star because I did enjoy the book overall, and it kind of kept me hooked. And also it was such a short book. It was really kind of fun and easy to get through. It was only like 260 pages, at least this version of it was. So I liked it, but I do feel like the ending, you can look at it 2 ways, the ending. You can look at it as if that's like, okay, that is what's going on. Or you can look at it as, hang on a minute, is it? Like there are like, I feel like there's, it's like, I don't think it's a super ambiguous ending, but there are parts of it where I'm thinking, hang on a minute, wait, really? And I think you're not left completely thinking what's really going on, but in my mind, I don't know, I don't want to say too much, but I did enjoy this. I actually liked it more than I thought I would like it. I know that this whole vlog I'm supposed to read a 5-star, but also I'm doing it randomly, so what are the chances that a book with an orange cover is going to be a 5-star? But I gave it a 4-star, so pretty close. I did start reading the Scarlet Alchemist last night as well, but I just wasn't all that in the mood to read too much. Ended up being on TikTok for far too long. I only go on TikTok maybe like once a month, and then when I go on it, I'm like sucked into it for like 3 or 4 hours, and then I don't know where the time's gone. Like, does anyone else do that? I avoid it like the plague, and then I'm like, oh, I'll just go see what's on my For You page, and then I'm literally there like scrolling the whole time. It's horrible. It's like what is it, like a soul eater app where you basically just are mindless, and all you have to do is just keep swiping up. It's absolutely terrible. Anyway, so I did read a little bit of this though last night. This is by Kylie Lee Baker. I don't know if I mentioned that. So where am I? I'm on page 43, chapter 4. The thing that I don't really like about this book is the pages are so thin. They're so thin. They're like thinner than anything else. And I don't know if you're gonna be able to see it, but you can see the darkness from the page before when I'm reading it, if you're in a certain light. And so that's kind of been a little bit annoying. I don't know why the pages are so paper thin. So I feel like they're not like Bible pages, but they're very similar to Bible pages, where it's that really like thin see-through material. They're like basically see-through. So I don't like that. It just makes me feel like I'm gonna rip the page when I'm turning it. So I'm being quite delicate. But yeah, so far I do kind of like the main character. Her name is Zilan. I don't know how you pronounce it officially, but she is young, but she and her cousins are studying, and they're about to go take an exam in a couple of weeks because they want to get out of where they're living right now. She lives with her uncle and aunt, and they sell, it's quite morbid, they sell little trinkets for people who have a loved one that's deceased. You know, they buy that and they put it to bury with the body, basically. So it's like little figurines or trinkets that you would put in the grave. And this is set in like 700 China, like year 700 and something, 775 or something, so quite a while. It's basically a historical fantasy fiction, which I think is pretty cool. Obviously it's all kind of to do with alchemy. Her cousins are not studying to be alchemists, but she's studying to be an alchemist because her father was actually Scottish and he ended up marrying her mother, who's Chinese. But then her father like disappeared one day, and he studied alchemy, and he had a bunch of alchemy books. And so he had some theories on how to bring back the dead, and she was looking at the books, and she's figured out a way based on his research and his books how to do it. So that's something like that she does as a side hustle, because you're not allowed to do that. Quite frankly, yeah, you shouldn't be allowed to do that. So straight away, this guy turns up with a dead body of his rotting brother. Like, there's quite a lot of descriptive scenes in here already, and I kind of like that. And she's like, oh, just leave him in the back, you know, on top of the potato sacks or whatever. And so they just have like this rotting dead body in the back, and they're going to reanimate him. I mean, I don't know how else to say that. It's not like Frankenstein when you reanimate. I mean, she actually is going to bring him back to life, but he's been dead for a little bit too long, so she's already like thinking that his skin's going to fall off once he's back and stuff, and he's not really going to be able to like have a functioning life. But anyway, that's her little side hustle to make extra money, and because she has to give a lot of tax away to the city, and it seems to be that it's quite corrupt as well and all that stuff. And that's kind of as far as I've got. I think they're about to do it because they have to do it at night when no one's around. So I think that's kind of where I stopped at chapter 4. I think we're about to do that and see what happens. So that's as far as I got, but quite a lot in the first 40 pages. I feel like it's been interesting, and I do like the main lead because she hasn't annoyed me so far, and she's also not like this ditzy little girl. She seems to have a backbone to her, and she talks back to people, and she obviously she does all these morbid things. So I don't know, I kind of liked it. So maybe this will be a good book, and maybe it'll be a 5-star, I don't know. But yeah, I still got plenty to go. It is over 400 pages, which I'm kind of dreading because I really am over long books. I don't know what it is, but I just find them so long. But obviously after a certain point, you know, once you're like halfway through a long book, you're like, okay, I can keep going. But I think the first initial 100 pages are always the hardest for me. So gotta read those next 60 pages, and then I think I'll be on a roll. But yeah, I'll definitely read more tonight. It is Thursday today, so I still have plenty more days. Hopefully I can finish this over the next few days. My son's birthday is on Saturday though, and obviously I want to dedicate majority of my day to him. So I don't know if I'll really read too much on Saturday, aside from the evening when he goes to bed. So I don't know. I don't know how much time I've got, but maybe on Sunday I'll be able to have a lot of time to read it too, because I did want to just do this as a weekly vlog, and I started it like 2 weeks ago, and then I did nothing for the first week, as you know. So yeah, let's at least try to read another book before the week is done, right? All right, so I'm almost done with this book. I'm actually been really enjoying it. It is Monday though, so I need to end the vlog basically today. I have not finished this book. I've read 374 pages, so I only have like, I don't know, maybe 60 pages left or something crazy like that, maybe 70 pages left. I'm gonna finish it later today, but I'm gonna tell you right now, this is gonna be a 5-star. And I did not plan this at all. I know I was like, let's try to get a 5-star. And I'm not saying it's a 5-star to say it is a 5-star, but this, I'm telling you, is a 5-star. This is a lot of fun. And I think because it is YA, I am rating it a little bit higher as opposed to if it wasn't YA. I don't know why, but I just feel like for what it has done in just this one book, it is a lot of fun, and I really like the main female character, and I also think that the prince is kind of funny. I don't know if he's supposed to be funny, but he is kind of a twit, and she's the one that has to take care of him, and I really like that dynamic because in all of the other romantasy books, I swear, the girl just becomes a damsel in distress, and it's always the guy that's gonna save her, and she's just saving him left, right, and center. Like she is a badass, and she keeps her cool, and he is just, yeah, there's a lot of things that, like, okay, I don't want to spoil this book because I think if anyone's got it in the fairy loot and they're not sure if they should read it or not, I think you absolutely should read it if you like interesting concepts. Like, I think this is a quite unique story, and I love where it's based. I love that it has the historical fiction aspect to it, but obviously it's a twist because clearly this stuff is not really something that happened, but I wish I could talk about what happens in this book without spoiling it, but I really don't want to spoil it. But there are, like, we just had a revelation just a few pages ago about the main character that, like, I didn't even think of, and it's just like, what? So, you know, it keeps me going, and that was like, and we're still like in the third, and it hasn't been boring. Like, for, like, you know, when I was saying like I don't like all these long books because they just have all these filler chapters, it hasn't been boring, and I don't feel like it's had any filler chapters whatsoever. I feel like everything in the book has been there for a reason and for a purpose, and either character building or plot driven aspects of what's actually going on. You learn stuff, and it's just really interesting. I have found it really interesting because I do find it quite unique. I do think it's different from some of the other romantasy books that I've read, and the romance is really not like the center of the book, which I feel like with all the other romantasy books, like, that is the main point of the book, and then everything else is like, oh yeah, it's fantasy, dragons, blah blah blah, or vampires or whatever. This, the actual story itself, is the focus, and what's going on with the Empress, and like almost immortality but not immortality, but you know, there's like monsters in here, but they're man-made monsters, and it's just very interesting. There's also like a trial in here, somewhat of a trial. Like, she goes through these 3 different examinations and tests for her to be an alchemist, a royal alchemist, and they're not like normal standard like essay tests, of course not. They are actually like trials, and they are brutal. For a YA book, this is a brutal descriptive book. It has a lot of gory descriptive scenes, and I'm all for it. I love it. It is not holding back at all. It is not apologetic about it at all, and also I just think the main character is actually a lot of fun, and she is just who she is, and she has done some things in the book and I'm just like, you go girl. So it's silly, but she's very young. I will say she's very young. I kind of wish she was older, but that's always the case. They're always like really young people in these books. So, but the romance hasn't been like the forefront of the story, so I feel like I'm not getting the ick that she's, because she's only 17, but there hasn't been like anything going on. There was a little bit of a moment that could have happened that didn't happen, so whatever. And yeah, I've only got a few pages left. Really, is like the final part of the book, and honestly I was really trying to finish this last night, but I was exhausted. I passed out. I literally passed out on the last page that I was reading, and I was like, okay, let me just like, I woke up and I was like, okay, I gotta put this book away. So I'm gonna finish it tonight. I'll probably come back and just do like a final verdict, but I'm telling you right now, 5 stars. It's gonna be 5 stars. If not, it's gonna be 4.5, and I'll still round it up, because I can't imagine it's gonna do anything that's going to deter it from being a 5-star, because I've enjoyed it so much. Even if I'm slightly disappointed at what happens at the end, I still think overall the rest of the book is worthy of a 5 stars. So really, really pleased with that. And you know, there's some things that I feel like I'm predicting are going to happen, and they haven't happened yet, but I do think that I'm going to be right. But I don't feel disappointed that I'm right. I like the way that it's been set up, and it's not trying to be more clever than it is. It's not trying to be like, I don't know, I just think it is quite straightforward. The writing style is really easy to read. Like I'm just like, I didn't read it all. Okay, so let me go back. So I spoke to you last Thursday. I didn't read, I maybe read like 10 pages and then that was it. So, and I didn't read on Saturday at all. I don't think I even read on Friday. So Friday, Saturday did not read. And then Sunday was yesterday, and that's when I did my real big push last night. And I was tabbing. You can't even see the tabs because of this braided, but I was tabbing a lot, and it's just a lot of fun. Like I really enjoyed the story, and this might be either a trilogy or duology. I think it, you know, obviously I'm gonna have to wait a while before any other book comes out, but I'm definitely gonna be invested in the other books because I do like the character. It's not like I'm following it because I either like the romance or anything. I don't really care about the romance. I also don't even know if the romance is going to stick, to be fair. I don't know. It's just a little like sweet. There's like sweet moments here and there, but it's not what's driving my desire to read this book. So that's good. And yeah, I've been just really, really enjoying it. So this was a shock to me, I swear, because I think I read like what 40 pages of it when I spoke to you last, and I was like, it's okay, you know, I like the character and stuff. I was just not expecting it to have the brutality that it has and some of the scenes that it has. Like I don't know, maybe I like those gory scenes. Maybe I should read more horror. I feel like this is a fantasy. This is like a historical fantasy with some horror elements to it, and I like that. It's not horror as in like scary elements or spooky elements, but horror as in like brutal gore, but not like over the top, just like actual, just like real life stuff, but in her life. It doesn't gloss over that, if that makes any sense. But yeah, I thought I'd give you an update since I haven't given you an update in a while, and I don't want to come back and say this is a 5-star, goodbye. No, I wanted to talk a little bit about it, but there's too much in here that I could spoil, so I really can't go into some of the things that I truly like about it, and also like the revelation that we had a few pages ago, which I did not see coming. So that in itself was really fun to read, and yeah, I don't know, I'm looking forward to finishing, see what happens. I don't mind either way actually what happens in the story. I've just enjoyed it so much. So yeah, that's why I think it's gonna be a 5-star. Really shocking because I did not expect this at all. And honestly, this vlog has been really good because I don't know. I'm super happy. But anyway, I will officially come back once I finish the book and let you know my final verdict. But I think this has been a good reading week for me. So I did finish this last night, as I said I would. I'm still gonna give it a 5-star. I feel like at the end, what do I feel like? I wasn't disappointed at the end. Something that I thought that was gonna happen didn't happen, but it has set up what we're going to expect in the next book. So I'm excited to read the next book, which doesn't come out until October this year. But I really enjoyed this book. I really did. It's not going to take away my pleasure from all of this. I do like the ending. I was somewhat satisfied, but I was also like, oh, so you know, but yeah, I feel like the next book is going to be interesting, and I know where they're going to go in terms of the direction. I do kind of, this is a weird thing to say, and maybe it won't happen, but I kind of foresee a triangle of some sort in the romantic sense. I don't know if anyone else has seen that, but okay. Anyway, I think this like last week has been really successful for me. I know I didn't share any of me reading this book, but obviously I got a 5-star from that one. I got a 4-star from this one, and then a 5-star. So definitely my reading stats for this last week have been very, very good. And at least I'm ending this vlog on a positive note because I did not expect to actually end up reading a 5-star. I know I said it It was my goal, but I didn't think it was gonna happen. So I'm super pumped. I did read some of Empire of Storm from Sarah J Maas last night, and I'm probably just gonna try to finish that before I go into anything else, because I don't have any other books that I have started. So I really have no other excuse. So let's do it now. Let's get it over with and then move on. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. Like, subscribe if you'd like to, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.